A verdict in Dizzee Rascal's appeal against his conviction for assaulting his ex-fiancée has been reached, with the musician losing his appeal. The 38-year-old bonkers rapper, whose real name is Dylan Mills, appealed his conviction and sentence for assaulting his ex-fiancée Cassandra Jones in Streatham, South London in June 2021. Mills was found guilty of attacking Cassandra Jones by pressing his forehead against hers and pushing her to the ground during a chaotic row at a residential property in Streatham, South London, on June 8 last year. He was given a community order, including a 24-week curfew and 12-month restraining order banning him from contacting his former partner, as well as being ordered to pay £2,190 in costs and a £95 surcharge. Mills appealed against the conviction and sentence at Inner London Crown Court. The hearing took place as the musician sat quietly in the dock as the appeal against his conviction and sentence was rejected. District Judge Vanessa Baritzer, who was sitting with a panel, stated that they were satisfied that the case had been made out in the way that had been alleged by the Crown and that the rapper had used his forehead to push Ms. Jones around the room. Speaking to the Mirror, Cassandra, his ex-fiancée and mother of his 2 children, said, "As a survivor of domestic abuse, I would appreciate privacy for myself and my family." The verdict today, as back in March of this year, has brought me no joy, but it does once again show women like me will not suffer in silence. Justice will prevail when crimes are committed against us. This case being reopened has been hugely upsetting and created a lot of anxiety for me and my family. It is not something I wanted but was subjected to. As I said earlier in the year, I just want to move on with my life, focusing on raising our children and healing from the abuse that I have experienced, but my perpetrator was determined to stop me from doing that. I understand why so many women drop out of the criminal justice system. Having to repeat evidence and go through the court process again with a whole new trial has been really dramatic and tiring for me. Cassandra went on to add, perpetrators often use the court appeals process as a means to further exert their power and control, and the impact is very distressing. This verdict today once again shows wealth and status cannot be used to silence women. Domestic abuse is a crime, and regardless of money or influence, support is out there. I would like to thank my family and friends and the specialist organizations who have supported me throughout. During the hearing, the court was told how Mills produced a diss track that was released on the day he was found guilty of assault. Mills' ex-fiancée Cassandra Jones gave evidence during the appeal on Friday and alleged the musician barged into her South London home before smashing his head against the fridge out of frustration. She said she stumbled to the ground after Mills, known for chart-topping singles Holiday and Dance With Me, pushed his forehead into my forehead and pushed me around the room. Ms. Jones said, "He reached his red mist where he just doesn't care." But Sally Bennett Jenkins KC suggested her client was perfectly calm when he arrived, and it was Ms. Jones who has a temper and is abusive towards him. What happened is quite the reverse of what you have said, that you were upset and concerned about your financial position, that developed into an argument in which you in fact pushed Dylan and scratched his arm, she said. Ms. Jones replied, "Are you actually being serious?" The barrister said, "There was a verbal argument which resulted in you losing your temper, pushing Dylan, scratching his left arm, and there was no physical aggression from him to you." The alleged victim responded, "That's entirely untrue, and he knows that's untrue, and it's disgusting you can even allow me to be in this position, Dylan. This is horrendous. It was also suggested in the trial that Mills had reduced Ms. Jones' allowance from £2,000 to £1,800 when she was badly behaved. But it was suggested the only reduction come as a result of the fewer bookings the musician received in the COVID-19 pandemic. Ms. Jones responded, "He is a multi-millionaire. He's just bought a second Ferrari for himself. He is a very wealthy man, he raps about it all the time. I haven't sold any stories to the press for financial gain. He is a very, very wealthy man who made £870,000 during the pandemic." He released a diss track, at 38 years old, the day he was convicted. He rapped about the judge. Mr. Mills counterclaimed that his ex-fiancée had used a mobile phone to hit him and had scratched him before he took it away from her. Prosecutor Helena Duong suggested to Mills the real reason behind this was that he wanted to thwart any attempts by them to call the police for help. Mills responded, "No, I took it because she was already hitting me.